Hello, Shadwell here, ready to talk about the next film in my collection, Five Nights at Freddy's from 2023. It's directed by Emma Tammi and stars Josh Hutcherson and Piper Rubio. I'm just gonna get this out of the way right now. I don't give a shit if you think I suck for owning or even liking this movie. And if it surprises you that I'm defending this, a lot of people were not fans of this film because it wasn't made for your average filmgoer. This is a movie that was made primarily for the fans, and although that's not a great business model when you factor in how much money you're not getting from the average filmgoer so that you can make an almost guaranteed buck off the hardcore fan, maybe it isn't so smart, but fuck it. It is great if you're a fan of the game series, which I am. I've never personally played any of them, but I've seen them as most people have on YouTube thanks to Let's Players like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and YouTube sleuth MatPat. So even though I've never played them, I'm mostly up on the story of Five Nights at Freddy's as told by the multiple games, I believe there are 11 so far, and a little familiar with the story presented in the book series. So, that said, I'm not a hardcore fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, but I'm enough of a fan to enjoy the shit out of this movie. It doesn't go out of its way to hold the hand of noobs to the series, and that's what made it controversial upon release, because a lot of people showed up, and a lot of people who weren't familiar with the games were left scratching their heads. But as I'm a fan of the series, the movie works for me, but I can imagine being on the other side of the fence too. Luckily I'm not, though. I do especially like the cameo by MatPat himself and that he got to sneak in his practically trademarked phrase, "That's just a theory," into his dialogue. So funny to me. I'm also a huge fan of how the movie decided to go with making the animatronics out of real practical effects instead of the alternative of just making them CGI. Which I can imagine was very tempting to the budget people, but fuck those guys. That's the second time I've ended up saying buttfuck in this review. Reminds me of a funny bit an old friend of mine and I did. Anyway, back to Five Nights at Freddy's. I also totally subscribe to the dream theory the film keeps harping on as how our brains remember everything they've seen, and unconsciously, through dreams, we can access that information that we can't consciously. I've been saying that for decades, and this movie makes me feel like less of a crazy person. I'm giving Five Nights at Freddy's a B+, and can't wait for the sequel later this year. Tomorrow we talk about the cult classic Flash Gordon. See y'all then.